Hi dear audience, hope you would be fine. In this short video, we would be discussing about the rhetorics of imperialism and the colonial discourse. Uh, actually, empire are the those who controls the discourse of colonization. They have different strategies of empowering themselves. And out of those empowering strategies, naturalization is one of the strategy of colonial discourse. So it's very interesting and contradictory in itself. Interesting in this way that what the West claims are the discourse of that colonization claims as the natural is basically unnatural. Uh, they draw a line between the culture and the nature. Even the Western colonial discourse defines anything that is in its rude form, in its original form, that's the natural. And they consider the Eastern people are the people who are living beyond the center of civilization as the natural people. And similarly, they consider themselves as the cultured people, as the people of the centered people of the civilization. So here the word civilization and natural becomes the contradictory. So, to what they charge as the natural, they are the Orients, they are the negative people. And interestingly, they call themselves as the cultured one, as the civilized one, and that's unnatural, according to that Rhetric. Keep in mind that Rhetoric is that which is a very slippery meaning, which does not have a fixed meaning, and that may manipulate a lot of meanings as well. So, colonial discourse use this strategy of naturalization. To what they naturalize, they consider them as the savages as well. More to justify the philosophy of naturalization, they employ the deploy and employ the morality of the colonial morality as well. For example, when the Queen Victoria was asked, actually, a lot of parliamentarian asked in the court of the Queen Victoria that East India Company is doing the business and the process of colonization on your name. And when the Queen Victoria charged the East India Company and called them into her court, and asked the question that on whose sanctity and authority you are colonizing the people, they means the East India Company projected its vision that, oh, the people of the India are uncivilized, they are out of religion, they are living in a very poor condition. So we are doing the missionary work, we are doing the missionary agenda, and thus they moralized that their agenda of colonization through the religion, and they propagated it. And up to 100 years we have been passing through that colonization, and they have been giving this stance of colonial morality in the Parliament of the Great Britain. So interesting, is it not interesting that the colonial discourse at the same time manipulates its inherent ideology? What they claim as natural, at the same time they charge them as the savage people, untrained people, people against the education. For example, if we right now call some people that Afghanistan, the people of Afghan, as they are living more close to the remote areas. So then comes the two different points where uh, uh, when this was going to be charged, that what do you mean by the nature, what do you mean by the cultural, then the West cleverly create the difference between the ancient natural, primitive natural, and that of the modern natural world. Means they justify their stance that to occupy one man uh, and it means the domination over the other is the natural one. So means those who are powerful. This was the basically the Darwinian morality, or the Darwinian naturalness, that those who are in power, they occupy the other, those who are in less in power. And where there are the resources, lack of resources, then it is the duty of those equal distribution of wealth and resources to all the people of the country. For example, the colonizers justify their subjugation and exploitation of the natural resources, that they also have equal natural rights over the resources of the India as well, and in the Africa as well. So as we say that this is a strategy, and this is a rhetorical strategy, means West justify its own ends when they are going to its own natural philosophy, or philosophy projected by them. They create another stance of their justification. So uh, interestingly, now they justify that we are more to the modern natural modern nature, and that justifies our occupation over the other countries, and by this we have a moral tendency. In my talks, I have been discussing that the West consider itself as inherently the center of civilization, though it has and is the center of civilization as well. But what it creates, the other its who are beyond its centers, as the savage one. This is unnatural, and it has been the efforts of the colonization, the colonial agenda, that they considers that it is also the mythical sense as well. Means that we the colonizers have a religious service, has a some sort of the our implied and explicit concept of nature, that the person who is the fittest, means survival of the fittest, he has the right uh, uh, to control the world. And so as we are more uh, 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 sophisticated in the knowledge, we are more advanced in the technologies. Later on, they also develop the technology as one of the natural manifestation, means the person who is more good in nature. And from where comes the technology comes from the exploitation of the natural resources. So they say that we are more advanced in nature, we are more advanced in the study of the nature, therefore we have a inherent right and power and authority to control over the third world. Means the concept of third world means the underdeveloped. So imperial Rhetrics, the post-colonial imperialist Rhetrics, has an inherent confusions within this ideology, and it stands for the empty function space of the discourse as well. Means where there is a empty space of the discourse, then they fill it according to their own will, and similarly they read according to their own wishes. Nature as abundance and absence, and original innocence and unbridled destruction as an eternal cycle and a constant progression. These are following, sorry, means spaces where means nature in abundance. The people who have a lot of trees and the fruits, they are close to the nature. And one time they might be employing this strategy. Means, for example, the people from India are more blessed with the good weather, with the more species of the trees which are not prevalent in the West. For example, take the example of mango. So when it comes to the turn of the snatching those mangoes from the Indian people, then they say, oh, we have a right, we have a natural right on these resources as well. uh, in this way they justify their occupation. And then absence, where there is the absence, they have a natural right to occupy. For example, they say, you people are not civilized, you people are not having this one, you don't people have this technology, this facility, so we have a right to provide you this natural facility. And the other concept which is more associated with that, that's of the original innocence, means uh, original innocence means until man remains to his original innocence, he is not civilized, and he does not move on the progression of the modern natural philosophy. Modern nature means the countries who are more close to the or the countries who are more close to divide of the technology, they are natural, but they are primitively natural. They are not the modernly natural. So West justifies its occupation that we, as we have a access over the modern technology, so we are justified to. So it keeps on changing from one to another. But as this is the rhetorics, so these rhetorics are created and controlled by the Western philosopher, Western ideology, and the colonial discourse. So, colonial discourse on the as a strategy of naturalizations keeps on switching between its own philosophical understandings. With this, goodbye. Thank you.